Gino
has
whips
a
out your
meaning.
memory.
Huh? Yeah.
So but that was nini, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Lakini kaa kuna mtu anajua kuhepa swali ni wewe. Amehepa hiyo swali ya
I'm being
Otile.
politically correct.
Yeah. So
No, you're still
tuambie
there.
tu kweli.
Okay, so
Sure,
for me,
Otile ilikuwa poa ama ilikuwa mbaya?
most of the time,
Iko Nini. Episode 292 tukisema like, subscribe, hit the notification button, tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yeah.
Na leo it's all about the Benjamins. But this time ni all about the Benjamin.
Yeah.
Because after hii P Diddy story lazima tungetafuta a Benjamin akuja tete P Diddy. So tuko na Benjamin OTWAL. He's a music executive, film producer, na pia yeye lecture pia. Na me of course will meet through Boomplay, si ndio? So vipi buda jo?
niko salama manze, uko vipi?
Si tuko poa. Ulichekiaje mse wako all about the Benjamins yuko kwa shida hazijuani?
We usually say, if you ask me, US is a big PR firm.
Yeah.
So they're very good in marketing, and it's all about the attention economy. Ukiangalia in retrospect. So whatever shifts, so there's few elements that usually used to control the population in terms of attention.
Yeah.
So there's the entertainment scene, which is the music, movies, and then there's sports.
Yeah.
Right. So some things, if you look at it, there's a surface and then there's a deeper element. So on the surface, you might see this scandal, P Diddy is doing this. Because if you ask me, that was a lot of force being used for I don't know, such an allegation. I think it's a terrorist or someone who's hacked the penthouse, the White House or something. Or the military or something. So if you look at it in hindsight, it's a diversion of something. Something must be going on or something of the sort, so that they just need the population to shift a little bit, and they do their thing. Because if they really wanted to arrest him, they would have arrested him.
Yes.
Kiangalia on a bigger scale. So if you ask me, the attention economy is something that's the new frontier right now. Okay. Content is everything, and right now attention converts to everything. Politically, attention converts to everything economically. So even as private sector, government.
Sasa swali bado lazima nikuulize, did he do it? Did he do it?
I don't think I'd be in a position to, because I don't know him personally. Nimekuwa nikifollow for a longest time, because I've been studying the US music industry. Because if you really look at it, it's one of the industries that works. They have structures, they have systems. Because we usually say we have an industry, but in hindsight, we don't have structures and systems.
Yes.
In Kenya, we are very gifted, we're very talented. Taimia Ogopa, Caliph, Ted Josiah.
Yes.
If you ask me, they had structures and systems. They could repeat success, right? So they would repeat hit songs. That's what I mean. Like, it's Jua Kali. How do we get Jua Kali from A to Z? They had an idea. So plug in Jua Kali here. Let's distribute here. We have clubs that you're testing. So they used to do R&D before they release the songs. So by the time the song is out, they know how the audience could react, all that kind of stuff, right? By the time Jua Kali is launched, it's a sure bet is out, right? They had contacts in all radio stations. They had contacts in... let's say clubs and all that, and DJs. So they had a system and they had a structure. So if you ask me, that's now what we call an industry. Because industry inahitaji pipeline, inahitaji, we are manufacturing milk. So milk inatoka hapa, inapakejiwa, inaenda kwa super ama kwa distributor anatoa hapo, anapeleka kwa supermarket, consumer. So there is that pipeline. Right? So I usually follow the US, because I usually say there's nothing new under the sun. So what happens there can happen here 2 years later or 5 years later. But now with the technology, the turnaround time is faster.
Yes.
Only that our market is a freemium economy. So by freemium, I mean people have a way of finding a content for free. Okay. So the question is, how do you usually convert the attention to money? Because here in Kenya, it's kind of hard the way we are conditioned to monetize content directly. Right? Like now, say you've done a concert, you've shot it, and you want to sell it exclusively to like Showmax. for them, you'll have a lot of back and forth or Netflix or something. As opposed to the US, Beyonce can say, okay, fine, I'm doing Coachella.
Yes.
So I'll give Netflix, you want exclusive rights to this, I need shares. Right? Like industry yao imemature imefika huko. And they're like 50 to 40 years ahead of us. Right? So we are in the right space, and I usually say Kenya is the gateway of the entertainment industry in Africa, because we are the highest paying market in terms of music. Yes.
Yeah.
There's no other country that pays like Kenya on concerts.
More than they say?
Yes.
And Nigeria?
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting to find out.
So if you look at it, just try and go back and see all the artists, the who is who always comes through Kenya, and then they're launched out.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, from Tanzania to Nigeria to South Africa. If you are the who is who, this is like your launch pad.
Okay.
Yeah. The launch pad, and then now you go out. It's like we validate you, or we...
Yeah.
We basically accredit you, and basically now, because it's only in Kenya where you can do a rock concert, naijai. You do reggae, naijai.
Yeah.
You do bongo, naijai.
Jazz.
You do jazz, naijai. So it's
a very diverse market.
Very diverse market. And that means we have very sophisticated consumers in terms of clientele as an industry.
Okay. Never looked at it from that point. Okay. Alafu nini, before that to dig in kabisa kwa the industry, I have to ask about something. So ulikuwa involved kwa Raha Festival, eh?
Yes. I got a call. Actually, I was calling Eric Wanwash. He's a friend of mine. And I also...
Hairdresser.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So I have a group that I'm managing. They're called L'Afrique. So L'Afrique is a boy band. We're doing R&B. So I was trying to look for a slot for performance for that. So got to One Wash. Then he was like, there's an opportunity here. Talk to Marco. Marco is also a friend. We've worked before for an event for Mayokun. I was doing business development. He was providing sound and stage and all that. So there was a position open for stage management.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm available. I'm easy, because I was just in the house, basically just doing errands. And I showed up. So the experience was awesome in terms of sound. The technical was dope. The venue was perfect. Part na glitch mbili tatu za mvua, but raia ikutoka. That was the interesting bit, because I thought guys would disperse on the regular section when the rain comes in and all that. So I was involved partly on sound check. That was on I think on Friday. Because I came in on Friday. Then there was Saturday and Sunday.
Okay. The concert itself was ilianza Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday, 2 days.
Okay.
It's a festival basically.
And because I saw Nani on stage, it looked really interesting. Davido. So mabouncer ndio ilikuwa na mpanguzia floor.
No, okay, so what usually happens
like
is...
the security, that is.
Yes, what usually happens is when it rains, kuna kongana hizo, like, there's scenarios, there's what you call scenario planning, So there's a scenario when the thing can get wet, and you don't want an incident when an artist anaanguka, slide, and all that. So to bypass that, you have to basically just interject and basically make sure it's safe. Number one, safety. Because anaweza anguka, avunjike, anaweza anguka. And then there's also the PR repercussion. And then there's also legals and all that. That guy can sue you and all that, right? Because the stage has to be safe for the artist. It has to support weighty artist and the crew on board. So you want to avoid scenarios where msanii ameanguka ama stage imesink. That's usually a PR nightmare and also a legal nightmare for the artist. So mvua ilinyesha, so you had to just improvise and make sure it's safe for the artist.
Because I felt like to mimi ingekuwa easier if they'd had like some sexy girls just show up on stage.
Show up and
it would have even be safer for Nani, would have been safer for Davido, because those guys doing it
on an outlook perspective.
No, even safer for him, because vile wasa walikuwa naipanguza na mguu hivi, that was not safe at the end of the day. Is it really safe? But I feel like to them to fulani tuza come tukituak alafu tuna
part of the...
it can be sexy and still be part of the show.
So now
that's in hindsight.
Most of the international acts most of these international acts usually trust their own people. Right? So come with their own security, they come with their own sound engineer, they come with their own camera guys and all that. So what usually happens, most of the people, local guys are usually taken off stage. One, because of security reasons. Number two, just to control intentions.
Yeah.
Because the other guys, there's a fan who's demo kupanguza anaweza kuwa ni fan wa Davido Loki, right? And then zishike. You get like this instance where Jay-Z was performing with Alicia Keys, and then I think Lil Mama was there. So Lil Mama tu akatokea.
I remember Lil Mama. Yeah.
You get. So for an artist, number one, there's usually an element artist tuingia time ya performance. So ukimdistort tu kidogo hivi, unakwanga umedestroy chain of thoughts.
Yeah, najua.
That's why even footballers, before they go to the stadium nowadays, they wear headphones, right? To avoid any distraction, anything that can just throw off their self-esteem. So most of them, they usually prefer faces that are familiar to them.
Okay.
So you'll feel safe. Oh, ule ni Boni, ule ni bouncer wangu, ule ni photographer wangu. By the time you see a foreign person, you're like, okay, what are you doing on stage? This wasn't planned. I wasn't told. I've not rehearsed. You get?
Yeah.
So your chain of thoughts inakuwa destroyed at the end of the day.
Okay.
So it's usually safer. Just maintain that bubble.
Okay. Alafu of course ni ekanene, so lazima tukuulize maswali zingine. Should Davido sue K24? Na kwa mtu wajui kwa nini nauliza kama Davido nafaa kusiu K24. Kuna vile K24 jana waliamua history ya April Fools, and they did this post where apparently Davido's plane has been stopped because it was full of cocaine. And I'm like, you're a news station. I'm like, what the
I had
fuck?
that nini.
So
niliulizwa if it was true or it's April Fool's Day or something.
So now swali ni ungekuwa Davido ungesiu K24, because don't forget K24 is a news organization.
Yes.
And it's one of the
blogger or a
it's one of the biggest
for
news
credible
organizations in Kenya. We rely on it for credible information. So should it be sued ama wachiwe as a slip of, what do you think?
So there's two perspectives to look at it.
Okay.
There is the long term and there's a short term, right? So on a short term perspective, of course you'd sue them because there's a PR implication. There's how the video looks alike, because now the world is universal. It's not just Kenya, right? So probably some investor somewhere has seen it, some country somewhere has probably put him on a red alert on the low key and all that kind of stuff. Because nowadays news travels, and negative news travels faster, right? So the short term, of course, would go for legal actions because of that, defamation and all that. And for artists, it's usually a very huge ripple effect, right? So there are fans who will basically just dislike you because of that rumor. There are prospects who basically just pull off because of that, because no one wants to affiliate to such things.
Yes.
So on the long-term perspective, there is Kenya as a country.
Yes.
Right? So yes, fine, you can go ahead and do the legal procedure and sue and win, right? But bittersweet, there's some Kenyans now who just troll him for that, right? There's there's some set of fans who be like, oh, you think you're suing our blah blah blah, and then now they try and go back and look for all the wrongdoings he's done towards Kenya or towards an African country, right? So it's a very delicate dance. But of course, I mean, these are things you can sort of legal jurisdiction behind the scenes. And since K24 is it's a corporation, this is an established institutions. Of course, legal teams can do it behind the scenes, so that there's no public outrage and all that. Because either way, there's a negative impact. So long as you go legal, there are people who just hate you for that. They're like, oh, now you're suing our own station. We've supported you all these years. We came to your show and all that kind of stuff. So management on a business perspective is like running a corporation. I usually say music is a business like any other business. And there's a lot of money being put in. And there's all the elements. There's finance, there's marketing, there's PR, there's A&R, there's HR, there's planning, all these elements that you have in a corporation. Only that now the artist is usually, music is the product, the artist is an employee, and then also doubles up as a brand. So there's the artist, the person, and then there's the brand, now the artist. So you need to separate those two. So when you're in a meeting, let's say with like who? Let me use Masauti. So there's Masauti, and then there's Ali Said. right? So in a meeting, you're meeting Ali Said to talk about Masauti. So Masauti should not at any particular point walk in there as Masauti.
Yeah.
Because if he walks in as a Masauti, he comes with a fame. And that's pride. And then that's like, it's me. You're all here because of me. But when you now walk in as Ali Said, we are here to discuss Masauti.
Okay.
The brand. So that's one element that actually, it's part of structuring.
Okay.
And also brings sanity within the team and all that.
Yeah, because I think one of the things that one is a learn, and in hindsight, I think the episode ran after he'd blundered like that. But I remember me, Ian, and Rapture, we were talking about April Fools, and we were saying that the way we feel like its time has passed. April Fools used to work before social media. That made sense. Right now, social media is so powerful that spreading fake information can have such like devastating
implications,
right?
And it's global.
Implications that you don't need to do that. So boy alidu hivyo because of course ni like one of the two junior employees at K24 like siwezi taka lose job hiyo but naweza taka tu ajue hii kitu ni upumbavu. You don't have to fool anyone. Like me hakuna record ya anything nikifool anyone on any April Fool's post 1994. I feel like hata kuwa na social media I feel like we are past that. Yes, so we shouldn't do that and people should now maybe this is what we need for people to be more careful. And then for media stations in the era of fake news, there was no fake news in 2010. There's fake news right now. Stay away from April Fools. Wacha watu wa kawaida wa joke around. I would even advise even someone as big as Larry Madowo. Like you've outgrown April Fool's Day.
One of the key things I usually say is culture is a very focal point. And you see these things are not natively ours. These are borrowed concepts. But us we usually borrow the concept and forget the context. Like why was this April Fool's Day manufactured in the first the first perspective?
Of course jiangalia reason ilikuwa ni
okay, no idea, but I'm sure there's
there has to be a reason.
There's a concept behind it. There's a whole concept behind it, right? So as we usually copy and paste, but then we don't go back and ask, why does this happen? But morally, it's not in our societal fabric. Like growing up, that we never had such things. Halloween, April Fool's Days and all that. Those are borrowed elements and cultures, right? So, and when they do some stuff, like in the States, so let's say they wanted to pull such a thing, they would have communicated to Davido's management. Because they're not fooling Davido, they're fooling the public. You understand? So Davido's management will be in the loop. Everyone will be in the loop. And then they'd be like, okay, fine. You can go to this extent.
But not past
these are the limitations. This is what you need to do and all that kind of stuff. So everyone would be in sync. So they'd even stage a picture of him being arrested. You know, such stuff. So it would be choreographed in a way that it also benefits the artist. So it's not a one-way traffic. It's a mutual transaction so that the artist gets mileage. And also the station gets mileage because I think they wanted to loop in on that virality of the fact that Davido is here and all that kind of stuff.
Alafu sasa vile umesema tumeenda kwa history.com. So history.com inasema origins of April Fool's Day. Some historians speculate that April Fool's Day dates back to 1582 when France switched from the Julian to the Gregorian calendar as called for by the Council of the Trent in 1563. In the Julian calendar, as in the Hindu calendar, the new year began with the spring equinox around April 1st. People who are slow to get the news or fail to recognize the start of the new year had moved to January 1st, continued to celebrate it during the last week of March through April 1st. And they became the butt of jokes and hoaxes and were called April Fools. Nacheki. So January ndio ili move. So January 1st was moved. So since waselku wana celebrate on April 1st, when I celebrate January 1st, that's why they are being called April Fools. This was in 1582. This is like 500 years later. Let's move on from that bullshit. I think was
hata walikuwa na April fish.
Yes.
But now if you see, so na concept yenyewe, they were not like manufacturing
stupid whatever. It was just about the date.
It's about the date and just calling like, oh, you guys were behind ama mulikuwa amjanyita
CASHAPP.
Unaget? So nika nyini mafala unaget? So it was not meant for people to manufacture scenes
come
and
up
dramas
with-
and all that
It
kind
was
of
for
stuff.
calling out fools.
Yes, that's why I'm saying before we copy and paste stuff, let's just understand the context
and the
behind
history.
it. So you're not pasting the wrong stuff. Yeah.
Alafu pia hata hiyo nani kuzinikuwa nasema ita hiyo Larry saying that he's moved from BBC to of course when I saw it I was like this is bullshit, but then I felt like Larry, you have over 3 million people, your posts are always engaging, we don't need this April Fools whatever stuff. But for Izima media stations big, I hope they've learned from it. I hope to never see any April Fools joke from KTN and TV. Like you're bigger than that, bana. There's a better way to engage people online than that crap. But to go back to event, another thing that came, and DJ Exclusive and Mwalimu Recho have always been the devil advocates for great performances.
Yeah.
And so exclusively alibonga juu ya how Otile Brown had like this bad performance. So ulikuwa hapo, ulikuwa kwa ground vitu zilikuwaje?
So I usually say good and bad is relative, right? It depends on the person bearing the perception, right? There's a point in time Shakira akifanya audition, one of the judges alimwambia akona sauti ya mbuzi. You understand? So for that judge, that was the perception that they had about Shakira. So, but for another audience, that voice is actually good. It's a beautiful voice. And truth be told, she surpassed all those expectations.
She's now the goat.
Yes, she's now the goat.
Hey.
Okay. So me on a
personal level,
on a personal and professional level, there's usually what I call and this is in my own perspective, this is not this is opinionated. There's what you usually call performing artist, and there's what we call recording artist, and they are entertainers, okay. So a performing artist is an artist who one can play a minimum of one instrument. Okay. An artist first, a musician bare minimum has to like at least know how to play one instrument. Either a guitar or a keyboard. They have to know how to create sound, right? Because there's two elements to music, to a song. There is the instrumental, which comes from the instrument. That is what is called the music. Okay. And then there is the vocals, which is what we call the lyrics. So in most cases, the audio producer is the owner of the music, the musical element, right? And then the artist owns the lyrics and the voice. So the beat is the property of the producer. So an artist, an artist from way back, minimum has to play one instrument, either guitar or keyboard. And then vocally, right? So of course we've transcended, even in hip hop, way before it used to be about lyricism, bars. Nowadays is more commercial than a craft. It's more business than art, right? So if you look, artist comes from the word art, right? It's derived from the word art. So you need to be able to create art. And part of art, it's the instrumentation, which is the music. That's your main product. So if your main business is to make music, and music comes from instruments, and you don't know how to handle, it's like you're an engineer and you don't know how to handle equipment. You understand where I'm coming from? But the world has grown to be lenient to most of the stuff. So we usually have artists and musicians. So musician has to be proper. And then there's entertainers. So entertainers, in hindsight, anyone hata hii era tumeona ya wase kwenda viral, watu wanaimba vitu za ujinga zina go viral. Those are entertainers. Those are not artists, they're not musicians. Right? If you wake them up at 2 a.m. at night and tell them sing, most of them won't be able to sing. Right? Because it's not in them. It's something they've done. So I usually say it's a beat then becomes a habit.
Okay.
So even you, if you want to sing right now, you just have to do at least a minimum of 1 hour every day, right? And then with no time, you'll have grasped the concept. But that doesn't make you an artist, right? So there are people who need songwriters, there are people, so it varies, right? So we need to separate performing artists. These are guys who go on stage. They don't need, I'm not saying they don't need to have dancers, but if you put them on stage, like now, let me give an international example, like Ed Sheeran. He'll go on stage with his instrument and a computer and create live on stage, right? And create the whole performance live on stage. Now that's a performing artist. Entertainers usually need, so entertainment is usually a facade. It's a facade of distractions. Is me coming with 100 bouncers to drive the attention to those bouncers. So the one thing you'd remember that night is this guy came with 100 bouncers. This guy came with 200 people. This guy had X amount of stages. So you won't remember the musical element of the performance. You'll only remember all the things, the circus, the things that were on stage. That is entertainment, right? It's meant for pleasure of your eyes. Our eyes are bigger than our stomachs, meaning we consume more visually than through our mouths, right? So at the end of the day, once you demarcate and know this is a performing artist, this is a recording artist, and this is an entertainer, then now, because you cannot use a blank sheet to judge all of them in one. So I'll give you an example of, let's say, and this is my personal opinion again, Ali Kiba and Diamond. Right? So to me, Ali Kiba is a performing artist. Right? This guy can move the crowd with just him and the band, right? And his vocals, you can just mute all the instruments and you'll hear his vocals very clear. Even Sauti Sol, the BNs, Anviri, Bensol, all these guys. And most performing artists are usually using bands. Right? Because bands is a different element. Is not the same as a performance track, is not the same as, of course it varies with genres. Hip-hop is a bit different, right? So most of them you'd find out they're using bands, right? So if you're judging a performance, there's different elements to it. There's the image. So image is how is the artist dressed, the graphics, are the things on sync, is the DJ, does he have an MC? So there's those small check marks. And then now there's the set list, right? So if I'm coming to your concert, what's the difference between me being there and creating a playlist on YouTube and listening to it at home? You understand? What's the difference between an MC doing your set list and you being there? Because as a fan, I need to get value. Because remember, I have access to all this material online. Right? So what's the difference between me who has come to a concert physically and someone who's at home streaming it? So I think it's again a delicate dance, and there's also an element of artist development. And most artists skip that. Because I think intentions, of course. Why are you doing music in the first place, right? As I've told you, it's a business. So what's your target? Most people, if you ask them, what's your target this year in terms of revenue, right? So let's say my target is to earn 5 million this year as an artist. So how do I earn that 5 million? Why are you releasing a song every month? What's the reason behind it? So you need to be very intentional, like, okay, fine, in 5 years, I need to make X. In 5 years, I need to be here. So how do I work backwards? For me to get here, I need to get here and here. Spotify pays this, Boomplay pays this. So for me to, like now you guys, this is a business entity. Of course, you have your KPIs. Every month, you know, my target is to get X amount of streams. There's a reasoning behind those streams, right? So you just don't do things because people are doing. Because then now you end up compromising on quality. And then now just focus on quantity because, someone else has released a song, so I need to release a song. This thing is viral, let me go on this thing. And that's why it's hard for us to export. Because we are not intentional. Most of us are not intentional about this music. If you ask most people, like, okay, fine, run your balance sheet or your TPL. Most guys don't even have it, right? And investment, how much are you investing in your music? How much? Because music has all that. And that's how basically personally I work on a 5-year roadmap. So in 5 years, this is our target. So that now there's no deviation. Because music is expensive. I usually tell my artist, you spend $2,000 or $1,000 on a music video, right? Marketing would probably cost you double that.
Yeah.
Especially right now that YouTube is flooded with ads, and now it assumes artists have money. So artists have been ranked the same CPM as corporates.
Yes.
So now the organic traction has reduced for music videos. So now they need to encourage you to do ads, because that's their monetization element.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's business at the end of the day. They're in for profit. So if they've noticed Nigerian artists are putting ads on YouTube targeting Kenya, so meaning artists have money. Right? So that's another element of monetization.
Yeah.
So how do we encourage more artists to
monetize?
To do ads. So you reduce the organic traction for music videos. Because Kitambo, the only ads you'd only see on YouTube are corporates. You only see Safaricom, Airtel.
Yeah.
Right now you open, there's a music video every 10 minutes.
Najua.
Right? So now it's harder to penetrate organically. So now you have to look at it. So typically you spend like $5,000 on a project.
Yeah.
So what I usually tell artists is, if I was to give you 500K and tell you go buy a car or go buy land, the amount of due diligence that you do, you'd end up knowing about the engine, specs, stock, maintenance, spare parts, all that kind of stuff, right? And even get a DL.
Yeah.
The same thing for land. You do land search, you do title deeds, you know about all those nitty-gritties, getting a lawyer, paperwork, transfer, stamp, all that.
Yeah.
So mind you, you're spending the same amount on music. So why do we fail to do the same amount of due diligence on the same?
Yeah.
Because the money you're spending on music is not monopoly money. It's real money.
Yes.
If anything, you end up spending more.
Okay.
So if you look at it on that perspective, everything shifts. Our performance, our sets, the way we arrive at events, no drinking when you're working, because this is an 8 to 5.
Yeah.
Right? No bringing your friends, because you usually don't go to your friend's office when they're working and be like, hey, dude, let's hang out, because this is your office. Let's hang out after work. You get, let's drink after work. Because there's the principles of money, there's the principles of world, and there's principles of spiritualism.
Yeah.
These are constant things in the world. And and music is very spiritual.
Yeah.
Our body is made up of over 70% of water. Music is a combination of frequencies and vibrations, right? On different frequencies. So it affects our body. That's why a song can make you sad, a song can make you cry, a song can make babies, a song can...
Yeah. And
we need a song for every event.
That's why sad music makes you happy.
Yes.
Like sometimes uko depressed.
Alafu
unaamua kusikiza some sad shit, alafu una feel poa.
Because it's on the same wavelength as you. So you feel you're not alone. You get
like one of the things, because I'm not I'm not a religious person, but one of the things like I'd want to know is how humans figured out that we can manipulate sound to make ourselves happy. And then we built a whole industry around that.
Yeah.
So
like music exists strictly because of our ears, not anything else. Like tutaisikia usikie poa, haita it won't give you anything that's tangible, but it's going to affect your worldview, your happiness,
you
your what, and it's just sound.
Okay.
Like how did we manipulate sound?
I'll tell you one thing, so there's a difference between religion and spiritualism. So we as human beings usually work on, again, structure. So religion is more institutionalized, right? Spiritualism is universal. Right? The concept of... So I'll give you an example of alcohol, right? On the beer bottle, what is usually written? This thing is harmful to your health, blah, 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 blah. There's a disclaimer. Cigarettes?
The same.
This thing. So alcohol and cigarettes have a spiritual element. And in spiritualism, you need consent. Sex is spiritual. Right? It was created as an act of worship. So sex without consent is rape.
No, I've seen Ian smiling. Yes. No, Ian is a choir member. Okay, so now we know why. Okay.
Connecting.
We've connected the dots.
So sex without consent is rape.
Yeah.
So again, alcohol is a spirit. it's derived from, I don't know if it's Arabic, the name is alcohol.
Mm.
It's a
Oh.
spirit.
Mm.
So for it to infest your body, they need consent.
Mm.
All these alcoholic companies have money and budget to lobby the government to tell them, hey, you guys, this thing is disadvertising us,
Mm.
right? Can we remove this label?
Yeah.
But everywhere you go globally, or everything alcoholic has a label.
Mm.
Because in the spiritual realm, you need consent, right? So alcohol needs consent. Like, okay, fine. If you drink this thing, it's going to affect you this and this. Uko
Yeah.
sawa?
Yeah.
Then the minute you say yes, you drink it, you become a different person because there's a spirit inside you,
Yeah.
right? That's why mtu asema ilikuwa pombe nililewa or something of the same, because you've given consent for someone else to enter your physical and spiritual territory, right? So I'll give you an example. Fast food in the US kills a lot more people than alcohol.
Yes.
Do they have warning labels
Z.
on a burger? Why? Because it's not spiritual. So there's the principles of spiritualism. Principles of money is simple, right? If it comes from a dark source, it go back to a dark source, right? So
Yeah.
if you're running a club, unajua stress house uko nayo makarao manini
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's hard kupata mse ana run anything that deviates the human beings from the light na akona smooth sailing. Because the principalities of this world and even God before in the Bible, it was meant that give Caesar what belongs to Caesar. So God never interferes with the principles of this world. And there's also the principles of tithing. Tithing doesn't necessarily mean taking it to church.
Yeah.
This is my personal opinion, by the way. Tithing to me is, it was meant to create financial discipline.
Okay.
The minute you chuck 10% out of that 100, you'll feel the pinch.
Yeah.
And you'll be very conscious of, hey, I just chucked 10%, nimebaki na 90.
Yeah.
As opposed to mtu ako na hiyo 100. Mtu ako na 100 ako, niko na hizo bado. Mtu ametoa shoe, ana feel, nisha lose shoe na sijaifanyia kitu.
Yeah.
So you'd be more careful with the 90%. That's why tithing was created, to create an element of financial literacy.
Okay.
And if you look at it in hindsight, most corporates tithe, they do CSR. It's not mandatory, it's not law. That's an element of tithing.
Okay.
But these are things you'll never be taught in school,
Yeah.
right? Most rich people, Bill Gates will wake up and donate half his wealth. That's an element of tithing.
Yeah.
And it comes back tenfold. So there's some principles which remain constant, regardless of who you are, where you are, and the people who've gotten it are usually more successful. If you look at it, if you look at the these guys from Israel called what? The guys who basically run the US.
Wayahudi.
Yeah. And
Okay.
Muslims and all. These guys have gotten that concept. Muislamu anatoka aende buy your say food. That's tithing. You get?
Yeah.
Tipping. Tipping ilitoka to that on that same concept.
But nini nikiku stop kidogo,
Yes.
hii historia niyo just kuwa nimeisikia like you've said it and I was like okay mpaka I had to search alcohol
Yes.
and alcohol.
Yeah.
So it usually drinks are specifically distinguished as alcoholic beverages because of their content, but where does the word alcohol come from? According to numerous scientific sources, the terms originated from the Arabic alcohol,
Yes.
which referred to a method of manufacturing makeup in ancient Egypt, when men and women alike used a thick, dark paste made of chemicals, coal, to cover the border of their eyes. The practice was both a superstitious belief to protect their souls and avoid evil spirits, and an actual cure to the eye infections circulating in the desert. The interesting aspect is that coal was a substance obtained from one of the earliest processes of distillation in human history. Damn. That's interesting. I didn't know that, because like when I think of Islam, I think of the ban of like they don't drink. So there's no way ningeconnect hizo vitu mbili bila we. So
Yeah,
thank you man, umefanya nimelan vitu mbili, April Fools na alcohol.
Na alcohol.
Yeah, so yeah,
Hiyo
that's
sayo
interesting.
naitanga mascara kwa
Nini hiyo?
Siku hizi.
the dark ukiangalia mafero kuna dark
eh,
patches around the eyes. So,
Even gin. Gin is derived from genie or something.
a genie.
Yeah. Jinn. There's spirits and then there's jinns. So everything in this world
Yeah.
Genie
has a
wipes out your
meaning.
memory.
yeah, yeah.
So but that was nini that was interesting lakini kaa kuna mtu anajua kuhepa swali ni wewe amehepa hiyo swali ya
I'm being politically correct.
Yeah. So
No, you're still there.
tu kweli
Okay, so for me
Otile ilikuwa poa ama ilikuwa mbaya?
most of the time I was backstage.
Yeah.
So backstage you're up and down. Mi hata hiyo story ya kubuiwa nimeambiwa after the show asubuhi.
Yeah.
Because I'm on headphones, talking on comms, making sure everyone is on time, band iko curated. Because akuwa na transition period. So umse akitoka, unafaa kuwa seamless, na stage isinyamaze. You get? At the end of the day also looking at artist next ako.
Yeah.
You get? Are they comfortable? Is security okay?
Yeah.
You get? So most of the stories actually nimekam kusikia after the event,
after. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And then there's me being a consumer and there's me being a producer. So I can't give a consumer's perspective kwa show siku kuwa huko mbele nikiconsume. Get?
Okay.
Yeah.
Because with that in mind, I'd say two things.
Yeah.
I'm in no position to advise Otile.
Yes.
But kuna vitu umetoka kusema hapo juu ya performing artist and what.
Yes.
And the name that came to my mind kila mtu anajua ni Bob Marley. So kina Bob Marley, they had this thing where walikuwa na believe in the same, to go back to the spiritual world.
Yeah.
They believed that if you don't fear the dead, you can never fear the living.
Yeah.
So kina Bob used to do, before they became who they were, they had to do something called being a dopey conqueror. A dopey conqueror is someone who's not afraid of the spirits of the dead.
Okay.
So Bob Peter Tosh and Bunny Wailer would go to graves and they'd perform for the dead.
Okay.
And I feel like Otile has two choices because he's such a big artist that he's missing out on so much revenue because najua Otile niko ukisikia jina Otile me I've had like my wife and the sisters say if I was rich Otile ndiye anakuja kuperform kwa birthday yangu unacheki like that's how much they wanamchukua.
Yes.
So two choices, be a dopey conqueror but since Kenya wasota sema ni uchawi, another thing would be tulikuwa tumeenda na Ian Coast kwa the DAO kuna hii DAO ya Tamarind. Another choice would be take vile comedians go to whatever clubs, now you end up kwa DAO perform. If you have to perform like a whole month place ka hiyo you'll be able to handle any crowd because live performance is a very essential part.
Yes.
Like a big shout out to beste yangu, kuna beste yangu fulani a friend of the show wa Iko Nini, sijui kaa nafaa kumtaja but alikuwa aniambia like mwafju unafaa kupitia Brito one of these days and I remember like vile tumeanza kubonga juu ya performing artists I was like I don't want to go to Britain for two things. Number one, watch Arsenal play and number two, watch Jacob Banks on stage. Unajua artist anaitwa Jacob Banks?
Unamsikia kwako.
Jacob Banks is spiritual. That's what I'd say. He never performs the same song twice, mara mbili, yani the same way twice.
Now that's an artist.
He'll perform it this way, perform it that, and every time it's mind-blowing. Nishaonaga Jacob Banks yuko kwa stage, dem Mlami yuko my afro, yuko like that's you don't have, but is it the power of music? So
spiritualism.
So I feel like nani ana take away from himself through that. So he needs to the same way TZ artist, because TZ we unajua you can be politically correct but TZ is horrible, man. Apart from I think I'd say the only artist nataka kuona sasa juu yako ni Alikiba, kusijio na Alikiba on stage and Mbosso. So from the whole Wasafi I only want to see Mbosso. Diamond, I love listening to those songs. They thump and I feel like he knows how to make great songs. He can't perform them for shit. Zuchu started out really well, like she could do really great songs, and that made me excuse her for her bullshit performances. Nowadays she does horrible songs, horrible performances. Sitaki kusikia juu ya chapati, toka hapa na chapati. But ukinipeleka kwa Raha, Wana, you remember the songs she started with?
Songs.
They were so nisamehe, then to chapati, kwenda huko na chapati yako.
So kuna kitu ni learn from Ted Josiah. Alin show there is three aspects to music. There is your head, there is your heart, and there is your feet. Okay, kuna songs zina transcend to your head. Zinafanya una meditate, unafikiria stuff, una medi, unafikiria life. Reggae mostly hizo madoba zinakongana na hiyo element zina hit head. Kuna songs zina hit heart. Okay. So hizi zina evoke emotions, a love, sadness and all that. Sasa kuna songs za mguu. Doba za mguu ni za kubanju.
Yeah.
Unaget? So the science of music inakuanga, how do you combine two elements? So songs zina hit head, zuchukua a long time ku take off.
Okay.
Good music grows slowly.
Yeah.
You understand? So if you're doing a conscious song, kama I'm a performing artist,
Yeah.
most of them don't have streams. You get? Because
Yeah.
any song inaginga. Songs za kubanju mostly zinakonga kwa 808.
Yeah.
Dum 12. You get? Hizo only songs get 1 million streams one day.
Yeah.
The gengetons and stuff. But the minute unairelease hivi, unaulizonga song next ni lini.
Oh, okay.
Understand? But if you do here or here, this is a song that can last you for life. Like Kisumu 100 ya Susanna, she's still gigging to date.
Yes.
Because of that one song. Right? So hizo ni songs ziko na longevity. So the tricky bit inakuanga, how do you balance, how do you fuse head na feet?
Yeah.
So that your trajectory ikuwe hivi. Ikuwe kama ya Boeing 787 ama Airbus A380.
Yeah.
As opposed to a chopper. Because a chopper can take off vertically, but it can't go higher and further. A 787 ama A380, it needs a longer runway to take off. But once it shall take off, it will go to a higher altitude and stay longer and go longer distances.
Yeah.
So that's the science of music. But now back to us and basically most artists is we are usually not intentional. So when the studio beat ni kali, una ride on it.
Yeah.
But now this is a business. Safaricom hezi amka tu tutengeneze tariff out of thin air. Right? They have to make a concept, do a feasibility study, R&D, wende chini, wafanye the consumer test, they bring sampling, all that. Si skip your process yote. Vile nimekushota imeogopa, walikuwa kisha make song wanaenda kuisample kwa club.
Yeah, okay.
Wana get feedback. Wakisha get feedback, wana grudi, wana tweak. That's the element of listening parties.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Ndio inafaa kuwa umeita wase, umeita not even creators, because you don't make music for creators. You make music for consumers.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to call your consumers, sample the song, tell them, okay, fine. Here's the song. What's your opinion? But your opinion hii. And then you go back and tweak it. The same way Kanye West alikuwa anafanya.
Yeah.
But now us huku, and sorry to say this, most of our listening parties, the food is always better than the music.
Yeah.
Because again, the intention. Why are you doing what you're doing?
Oh, okay.
So you're not just doing a listening parties because that's a rite of passage. Like uko na album, listening party. Why are you doing it? Right? And also on the element of spiritualism, venye nimekushow, music is very spiritual. So if you don't have a grounding, hiyo kenye ulikuwa nasema ni altar.
Yeah.
Okay? If you don't have a grounding, whether in dark or light, huwezi kuwa lukewarm na music. You cannot. It's like going to a gunfight with a knife.
Yeah.
You cannot survive. So if in music, if you don't have grounding, whether it's in the dark, whether uko na wachawi ama nini, you have your own spiritual rituals and all that, but music needs spiritual grounding. Either umeokoka, you're Muslim and all that, you have your own way of going and sacrificing. Anything in life needs sacrifice.
Yeah.
Whether in light or darkness. And it needs altars. So hizo zenye unasema ni altars. They go summon their things and say and then get it.
Yeah.
So mse ukimpata kwa hiyo element anakonga kwa in a very different realm. It's vibrating on a very different frequency.
Yeah.
So most of the time unapata the audience feeds off his energy. Most entertainers, they feed off the audience energy.
Yeah.
You get? So akipata audience iko chini, pia ako chini. Una get? So that's why they need an MC to come.
Yeah, kuhype nini?
Kuhype. But as an artist, the audience is supposed to feed off your energy. That's why even if they don't understand your language, even if they don't understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
they're feeding off the energy you're giving them.
Okay.
So there's an element of longevity and short term in music. But most people go for the short term element because it looks feasible and it looks like, oh, may hit,
it makes
you
money.
do. But then in the long term, it's expensive. Because if you're doing short term music, it's only music is gonna shelf life here 2 weeks. So constantly you need to be on people's faces. That means a music video every 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So with the time, since it's expensive, na imekuwa routine, unachoka. Then what do? You do it as a formality. So now you start compromising on quality in terms of budget. Oh, hii video so mbili, bro, tufanye 50k nieke hapo nisimame. shoot kitu upload kwa YouTube. You understand? Because economically it doesn't make sense to you in your pocket. So we need to be very intentional about this whole music thing. You need to know, okay, fine, I am targeting person X. Music ya kustream si music ya club. Awezi ka hivi unasikiza wa Mlambezi umemedi. You can't. And as an artist you need that wide spectrum. You need a product for everyone.
I think tushaibongaga like an artist who's able to do that really wide spectrum waga King Kaka. King Kaka has like the saddest song and the Dundai like yoga na range ingine kali sana, and a lot of his songs last for super long. Like I don't think Tutaonana Baadaye will ever die.
Exactly.
Najua hivyo like 100 years from now people that will still be like a dirge ile like a funeral song. So yuko na hiyo na pia Dundying will still be Dundying hizo siku, even like his party songs. Even his party songs are different. Like I'd say come to Kenyan artists like rappers. I don't think kuna a rapper with wider range than King Kaka. Najua like true. You can talk about other things like come to range. You like longevity, a song that the first time umeisikiza na the 100th time umeisikia it's the same.
You still want to listen to the same song.
And also that makes me miss Amos and Josh because I'm there like damn like that level of unajua ile kitu alipatia
and development.
We only remember King Kaka from like so really
alienda happy. Collaborations are usually very tricky. So I usually say when you're doing a deal you look for the fool in the table. If you don't see one it's you.
Okay.
So most artists collaborate for the wrong reasons or ill intentions or something of the sort. So you on your end, you need to look at what am I gaining as an artist? Right? In the long term, what does this mean? In the short term, what does this mean? Am I only going to have a big name on my song? What am I getting? What does that mean to my fans? Am I ready to have this big name on my track? Right? Is there impact? Because now, if you ask me, like most big artists, if you collaborate with a big artist and you're small, you don't have a catalog. Would I call you with your one song? Or would I call this big artist to come perform that one song?
Okay. That makes sense.
Economically, it makes sense to the promoter to call the big artist to come perform all this catalog for that price, as opposed to calling you, come and loop one song over and over again. Right? So you need to look at, that's why artists need managers and they need guys who now foresee this, because them, they're mostly focused on the craft. Like Tume Vibe. Song Nikali, which is also a good element, right? But there's also the business element of it. You need to look at it.
Okay, ina make sense. But it come to like now the R&B side, I think we do that longevity stuff.
Yes,
like
because now R&B hits the heart.
Yes,
and then kuna fusion kidogo ya mguu. Rumba the same. Rumba is either heart on head, and then so kuna element ya traction. Na kuna element ya longevity. A good example I'd give you is also Ted is the one who hacked this thing, like Unbogable. So Unbogable is head. Right? Ebu fikiria kubanju Unbogable.
Najua.
Hawezi dance, but it messes with your ego. Ikikam hivi una feel yenyewe weni mzii unanisho. Una feel low pin, una get. So it has that it was intentionally created to do that. And that's a song that will last for a lifetime. You get the same thing to Kisumu 100. The same thing to Atoti. Atoti iko na element ya fit. Na a bit of heart and head. You get? So hizi ni stuff alikuwa intentional. Hakuna guesswork. Alikuwa mimi nataka kudu hivi, hii song inaenda kufanya hii na hii na hii na hii. Songs za kitambo zi last forever, kina Isa Ogopa, all that era, because they were intentional. Saizi ukizicheza bado ni like you can feel a concert with those songs. Na hakuna mtu amezifanyia marketing. Most of them are not on YouTube. Hii era saizi we still celebrate them. Because there was structure, walikuwa nafanya research and development. By the time your song inatoka, msanii alikuwa anachukua 3 months 6 months kuproduce a song. I'm not saying we go back there. Of course things have changed. But we just be intentional about this craft. Because it's a bit, and then mind you, every day and this is subject to change. I think 1,200,000 or 1,300,000 songs are released every day.
Okay.
On a single day.
So
you're not competing locally.
Internationally.
By internationality is not on geographical perspective at uko Kenya, so you're no. We're not geo-mapped. So right now you're international by virtue of your song being on YouTube.
Yes.
You're international by the virtue of your song being on Spotify. Because you have the same tools that Ariana Grande has.
Yeah.
Or Beyonce or Jay-Z. They use the same Spotify.
Yeah.
They might have more marketing budget, but you're on the same
platforms.
Exactly. So we need to know that we are competing globally. So it's either I listen to you or I listen to Kendrick versus Drake.
Yeah.
So I give you my 3 minutes, and again kuna distractions at TikTok. So there's a lot of distractions. So as an artist, saizi, ndo nakwambia, it's the attention economy.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you get my attention? Okay, you have it. What else can you do with it? Now I'm paying attention.
Alafu sasa ni that's why nasema like for an artist like Otile who does music zile za kuguza hapa.
Yes.
Working on the stage performance should be like a must. Because a song like Jeraha, na Jovial, 100 years from now, there'll be someone singing to that song and feeling ile pain and what, you know, like, so nikiangalia hiyo naweza sema for I think like for Kusauti Sol have shown us it's possible.
Yeah, it's doable. It's doable.
Because unajua like them on stage, it's Nyashinsky.
Ametuonyesha artist development ya Sauti Sol. If you look at both journeys, Sauti Sol did the whole spectrum. Right, they toiled, they did. I'm not saying Otile didn't toil, but if you look at them, they went to those vocal training classes, hizo vitu zote wamepitia like a full
had the band
process. Had the band ukiangalia wasa wamepitia Sauti Academy, you understand, they've gone through artist development. So what usually happens is artist anakosa kupitia artist development and then anaanza kuget gigs. So by the time you're getting gigs, you become accustomed to a certain routine. And then unapata namba wana una time unaget because uko show uko which is not an excuse, but inakujanga manze niende kupiga tizi na band, hiyo ni wiki 2 daily unafaa kuenda rehearsal so una hiyo time, na since iko inculcated in your habits
inakuwa hard sana,
inakuwa nika kuanza kwenda gym unaget na uko job so inakuwa niende band nini, si naweza piga playback na iende. Kwa nini ni hustle? Band ni expense. Naget. So since you're not also looking at it on a long term perspective, unapata by the time umemaliza hiyo circle na kama una wasee around wewe, because so as a manager you need to be able to control the artist. Not controlling on a dictatorial perspective. Concept ya management ni if you can't control it, you can't manage it. Because if I give you a restaurant right now and you can't control the employees in the restaurant, you're not managing the restaurant. You get? So you need someone who can tell you, we need to do this, we need to create time for this. This is part of artist development. But that concept is usually not there for most artists. And then now, it's working. Why are we fixing it?
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
So we're getting paid, we're doing this. That's a small PR backlash. We'll overwrite it. So by the time you realize it's too late, because there's usually what we call the bell curve. So every business, everything goes through that. So when you start, you're hot, you're very active. It's like now hotels and restaurants. Naingia hapo, food iko on time, wase wako rada, kila mtu wana smile, and then wanakuwa popular. Kila msee anaenda huko. Right? So it's either you scale ama you start being complacent. Si mnatujua mtakuja hapa after all. So you start relaxing, unapata msee amejam, food imekaa ikiwa baridi hivyo. So bulk curve inakuwa hivyo, and then now it's either ushuke ama umaintain hapo juu. So music has an artistry has the same element. Okianza, they're very active, they're on time, all that stuff, and then become famous, because fame is also a drug.
It's a drug.
Become famous, and then start becoming complacent. You're late on events, you're late on interviews, you're arrogant, you're all that, and then now you go down. So once you go down, now you start remembering where you started from, and then so ukiwa hapa chini ndo unaanza zile vitu ulikuwa ufanye ukiwa hapa juu, ndo unaanza kuchangamka nini. But then again, there are seasons.
Because I feel like saizi music makes so much money that you can even have, particularly in America, they have the music, the garage ndio natumianga kupractice. Kenya kuna artists, they make enough to have that, buy the equipment, have it at home, and just be practice. Hiring waswa band wanakam kwako. So it happens at your convenience. Because the best thing, I'll keep saying, like the best thing about singing is hizo songs they have higher longevity even than rap songs.
True.
Because rap songs were kind of that braggadocio shit that has a certain level of chef life.
The ones that survive ziko na some part of harmony.
Alafu pia kuna kuogana sound.
That element of rhythm. So that's the R from R&B.
Like, 90s, I can listen to 90s hip hop and know this is 90s. Saizi tukikam to 2010s ni that drill trap. There's that key whatever. And at some point it's going to be outdated. So kusikiza,
now it's more of mumble rapping.
So kuna time thugs, like 20 years from now wasata kwa na we don't want that's some 2010 shit. True. So with that I feel like ni sad that we have such artists who have like that level of talent.
But in the long term as human beings we always go back to default. Either disaster, we always find a way of going back to where we started. We always find a way of going back to where a man is a man, a woman is a woman. Even in war. When war strikes, a man is a man, a woman is a woman. True or false? Men are told, stay here, women, children.
And then
you get. So we always go back to default. And again, we'll go back to default of, like right now, via viral songs of like just stupid concepts or viral things or stupid for lack of a better word ya kuwa viral slowly tunarudi kwa R&B. Like we're going back to sensible music. We're going back. I usually say culture is our biggest export as a country and as a region. Right? It's only that it's never tabulated or ranked in the stock exchange market. But that's the biggest export that we have. If Swahili, that's one of the biggest export from Africa. So you look at Apple using Siri, Safari, Lion King and all that kind of stuff. And if you want to control a population, you steal their culture. Right? And movies, music, that's the strongest tool to infiltrate a country. We know that the US is powerful because of the movies we've seen. Si tunajuanga SEAL team ni wa deadly juu umeona ma movies za SEAL team. Unajua wakileta SEAL team wa sita hapa Kenya, hata army itaogopa juu movies wameona wakigrow ni hasi ni wazii. Watu wa sita wanaweza tambaruza country mzima. You get? So it's a perception game. And once as a country we also realize that we need to work on that perception game, then the entertainment scene itakuwa will be more like the US Hollywood CIA who sanction most of the movies. Before it goes out, they have to look at what's the concept, how does it sell as a country. Tunakaaje kwa hii movie. That's why they'll have access to all those carriers, all those things. The government sanctions. Because now the world feels, hey, these guys are bad. You don't want to joke. You joke to the US. You guys, Marine One, SEAL Team.
American soil.
American soil.
He did that on American soil.
You want to control people. Soil. You control the perception of it. The attention. And then now, everything else is...
Okay. So, future, the Kenya industry, unaionaje? Because
we're in a very beautiful space right now. Especially, there's a scene coming up. As I've mentioned, L'Afrique. There's this guys, Ethan, Kinoti, all those guys. Now, because there was a gap. Time between Caliph, Ogopa. After that, kulikuwa na disconnect. There was no transfer of information or mentorship. Like they didn't hand over the baton. As I told you, music is spiritual. Tutazunguka tu hivi, but hao sio kosa kupeana. We'll still. Gengeton was the closest thing we had to an export. Right? But the packaging structure ilikuwa off. That shows you the traction is here. The numbers are here. Because those guys used to do 100 million in a day. Hizo views zilikuwa zinatoka wapi? Hapa. Right? So the numbers, the audience is here. We just need to give them what they relate to. I usually say the best person to sing Amapiano is a South African. Right? We have over 45 tribes, bro. And even if you look at it practically, who are the artists that gig the most? Vernacular artists. Samido, Kina Musa Jakadala, those guys are banking.
Prince
Inda. Those guys are busy 24/7. That's to show you the element of culture. And you can't go to the US and basically give them a diluted version of what they have.
Yeah.
Because them, they have the budget. Meek Mill will rap about his friend who was shot in the neighborhood. Hapa nani ameshutiwa. You understand? So, but how do you start?
Meek Mill pia anaweza sema alishutiwa na Puff Daddy.
Exactly.
And it's going to mean something totally
different. And it's going
different.
to connect because the people in that hood walioneo story last week. Ama kuna ambulance ilipita wakaitrace. Unaget? That's why you should go back to Sheng. Kijaka, Kisapere. Unaget?
Yeah.
That we can go there. Tunaweza pull up huko na mkokoteni na tuambie ndo swag mta. Hakuna mtu ata question. Naweza pull up huko umevaa pegs kwa shingo. Naambia this means something in Africa.
Yeah.
So I usually tell artists, if I give you a display booth, nikwambia this is an expo, display what you usually do. Uteka.
Okay.
Samido anaweza kama eke nini za tribe ya Kisapere aseme ndo food. Anaweza explain hii song ilitoka hapa, anaweza eka kahat. Unanielewa?
Alafu have senator akishake rasa hapo.
Unaget?
No, part of
It's part of the whole thing.
But unaget your concept. Like they can actually commoditize it.
Yeah.
If it's culturalized. Unaget? Kani kijaka unaweza kama uweke hapo food za unaget hizo nguo za tradition kwa naika kitambo. Unaweza accessorize nini yako, like it becomes a project. So at a stage inaweza kuwa accessorized to that. Inaweza kuwa themed.
Yeah.
That's why Kendrick starts for social justice.
Yeah.
So any of his performances utaona that element of social justice. Tunaidha makarao mebeba gari yako juu, so inaonyesha venye like right now blacks have the power to nini, that whole element of oppression. Beyonce ni girl power.
Yeah.
So we also need to have that. What do you stand for as an artist? Because you're na kuground sasa. Unakuwa na Coca-Cola, it's open happiness. So anything you do has to bring an element of, does this look happy? That's red. Red is associated with happiness in the mind or pleasure. So we're in a very good space right now. There's access to information. Artists right now wamechangamka, wanashikana. The likes of kina Charisma, Okelo Max, unaona wanakam pamoja, unaona pia kina Okelo Max wanaenda wana incorporate that element of culture. Tumerudi back to manze kuimba kijaka ni sexy, kuimba kijaka ni tamu. Unaget? Kuimba kiluya pia ni fiti. Unaona? So how do we incorporate that in this music? Yes, let's borrow that element of R&B, but tuna incorporate aje. That's why now we are working on R&B, which is Swahili R&B. Any concept said alianzisha tena kitambo na kina Masauti na EDC, I think. But Masauti was the one who rolled out. So R&B ni Swahili rhythm and blues, ama Swahili rap and blues. Unaget? Okay. So all the songs have to have an element of Swahili.
Yeah. Okay.
Either ni chorus, bridge, the hook, lazima kuwa na element ya Swahili.
Because even ani BN alikuwa anatuambia vile alienda kuperform kurecord in LA. So amedungo makadhaa zile ziko na kilami, alafu ile alianza kudo some Swahili shit. The whole studio was like, what the fuck is that?
What did you just say?
Yeah, what did you just say? So there's that, and I feel like that's also another thing that bongo has been able to achieve. Imefanya tukanini pia hata nini essay na mapiano, we don't know what they're talking about. Even Nigeria, coming to think of it, that pidgin shit, we don't understand anything, but we just feel the vibe.
Shawo.
Na imespread.
Tunaimba tu kibanju.
I don't even know what shawo is.
Kusukona fully focus hapa akituambia vile like states ime-embrace kabisa, like Afrobeat. Nani tena kwa tuambia the same?
Nani?
Else was telling us Mr. K4. K4 pia alikuwa anatuambia the same thing, like uko saizi being African is cool. It was never cool, but right now it's starting to be cool.
Is the new frontier. Na hii imekamjua dispensation ya technology. Unajua kitambo mainstream media ilikuwa na control na gava. So wangeonyesha tu Africa ni my elephant, because there's a time, the first time I went to Europe, nilikuwa nimevaa suti manze, niko kwa lift. I think it was in Estonia. We were like the only 2 black people in that country at that particular point. So lift ikafunguka, kulikuwa na mother hapo. Alistuka ni kama ona lion. Naona ile uzafungua lion itoke kwa lift.
She was astonished.
Lion imevaa
suti manze. Unaona hiyo culture kuja ajeona msim black. Na mimi ni brown, mimi ni light skin by the way. But huko nilikuwa nimekula melanin
Yeah,
mbaya,
najua,
unaget?
najua.
So ukienda kuuliza wanakuambia hey, how do you guys survive with elephants in the street and all that, but saizi social media imewapatia access, imefungua dunia kabisa. So wanaona kumbe kuna skyscraper Nairobi. Unaget? Kumbe hey, Nairobi has one of the fastest internet.
Juka muangaliaga kuna ude moja, she's a dancer in TZ, I always mention her. Naitwa Angel Nyigu, namjua?
Angela
Dance
Nyigu.
Gani Angel, si Angela. Angel ude like early this year she toured I think Germany, then after Germany she was touring Russia. Like she's one of those people mpaka nikikanaye saizi nizamuuliza like ile time ulisikia Russia kuna attack, how did you feel? She went to Russia because of dancing. Unajua like dancing took her to Russia. And she was there dancing and earning money that she cannot earn in an office job in Nairobi, which is the most expensive city. So it shows you the power of music and the power of sound, because these are Russians dancing to African songs, because always enda pale udance to Adele. It needs that African rhythm, the jungle dance.
Shake your butt.
Unasikia Wakanda.
Rasa najua
Rasa.
It's the same thing tukiwa na Masauti Dubai. So Masauti is deep in Swahili. So funny enough, performance yake ndo ilipostiwa na Shika.
Okay.
Saizo wanaimba Toto Kiboko. Guys are just vibing. Kiboko. Don't nakwambia the spiritualism of music. Unaget? So ni to embrace culture yetu. Just these guys, if it's English, they've seen the best of the best.
Yes.
Washa run out kila kitu, kina Chris Brown, kina Michael Jackson, kina Alicia Keys. You get? So you can only do as Alicia Keys, ama unaweza kuwa less than that. So there's nothing you can sing that will surprise them. But ukikam with something they don't understand, unaweza wangaria. Unaget? Mi naweza invent sheng yangu hapa, ubaki ukiona mi ni smarter, kumbe hakuna kitu nimesea. Hakuna kitu wewe ni kumesea umesea.
Si ndio juu kama hata nini Despacito we don't know what they're saying, but we just feel the vibe, we feel the nini. Ile ngoma ya CK ilikuwa inaitwa nini ile CK, this big Nigerian song, the one that has like 1 billion views on. Remember that song?
Is
whatever umsewa TZ ilikuwa the remix featuring J whatever Joe Boy whatever. Those songs like we didn't know what is being said, but we just felt the vibe. But so Buddha jo tumeshukuru, imekuwa like tume have 2 master classes in music. Yako ilikuwa in artist development, ya masterclass ya Mavo on the Beat ilikuwa on production and how to protect your publishing and your
IP.
IP. Ilikuwa more about IP. So wasana kutafuta wakitaka kuget like what do you consult on, what do you lecture on, like what can people
I have a record label.
Okay.
Which is Benjamin OTWAL, and I've signed Susanna Wio under it.
Okay.
I manage L'Afrique, the boy band. I have Iminza, there's Iman, consult for a bunch of artists. And there's also young talent coming up. She's called Zari. I consult for a lot of artists. I've done business development for Alikiba.
Okay.
I've done digital curation for Christina Shusho. Brida, Mandi. I've managed Saru, Masauti, Guardian Angel. I also work with Guardian. Who else do I work with? Who am I forgetting? Okay, for those who I have not mentioned, I've probably forgotten. So I do business development for events and artists. I do branding, I do management, the whole shebang, and I also produce films. So lecturing, I lecture music business.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's also something I'm working on. It's called the Music Business Academy, which is basically just want to dispense information to artists, so that now, because we are in a very East Africa is the new frontier. Guys are done with the South already. So I'm a piano, Afrobeat. So now they're looking at the East. And if you look at the historical perspective of the continent, Kenya is the gateway. Right? So you just need to position ourselves properly so that when the opportunity passes, that's why you're seeing all these record labels coming to set up. Spotify, when it came to Nairobi. It didn't go to TZ. Right? So we just need to align ourselves, position ourselves in the way of opportunity, and be intentional. Let's look at this thing as a business. and
Okay.
everything else will change. So you can get me on social media, Benjamin Otwal. My email is benjaminotwal@gmail.com or at otwal.com, but Gmail is easier.
Okay. And pia
Nimeshukuru sana I'm a big
asante
fan.
for the lessons man. Mi saizi nikopa tu alcohol. Hii anakwambia tu like, you are messing with alcohol. Look at alcohol. Like, no, that's the original name. Tajagezo za ovyo.
Ni
So
packaging
Buddha
tu
tumeshukuru.
lazima jiongeka alcohol wasiongeanza kuresearch.
So Buddha asante pia kwa wasa wanashindagwa how we ended up on Boomplay. Undo msalituingisha Boomplay. Although sikia nikiteta baadaye juu ya Boomplay. Kuna time Boomplay sikuizi wameget it right but at some point Boomplay ilikuwaga ukiload unapata episode ya last year imefuatwa na this year but saizi at least me notice the latest episodes ziko juu because I remember telling them the problem is on your side and then they're telling me iko side yetu niko na I was
thinking
losing
everything
my
kuna kongana hiyo teething stage. Lazima even regardless of how good the software is. If you look at the Facebooks, all these guys they had a very long teething phase where kuna hizo glitch kuna nini. Then most of these softwares are curated internationally. So bado kuna koka level of communication that has to okay.
So Buddha tumeshukuru kabisa. Imekuwa ni 292 so kama kawaida like, subscribe, hit the notification button, tell a friend to tell a friend. Tukimalizia 292 tukisema Iko Nini.
Iko Nini.